Hello students. Today we're going to be looking at how to add categories to our CAS blog. As you all know, we are using WordPress blogs to do our reflections for CAS. And so I'm going to show you how we can add categories to it. Then we can search and see very quickly what activities we've done correspond to creativity, what to activity, what to service, as well as to each of the 7 learning outcomes. So first things, we are going to enter WordPress in our account, and we're going to come up, we're going to make sure we go to this page, My Sites. You're going to select your CAS blog, in my case this one, Adam's CAS blog. It's going to load, and I'm going to stay over here on the left, and I'm going to go down. You may have to click this little arrow to bring it down, but I'm going to go to Settings. Then I'm going to go to the top, and I'm going to go to the tab that says Writing, and click that. Okay, so here I go, Categories. So you should have automatically something that says without a category. What we're going to do is we are going to add a new one. So I click that, and I'm going to put this category name, Creativity. I'm going to click Add. Then I'm going to do Activity, Add, and Service. So now I have my 3 areas of CAS, but to help us be able to search quickly and find evidence of our 7 outcomes, we're going to go ahead and add those as categories as well. So if you recall, in Canvas, you can find those 7 outcomes in your extended essay Canvas page. So I've got Canvas up here, I'm in extended essay, I'm going to go to the modules, I'm going to look down here at CAS, and I'm going to find here, CAS Learning Outcomes. And I'm going to pull that up and I can see the 7 outcomes here. So keep in mind that at the end, you're going to have to be able to point to evidence where you accomplish these 7 outcomes. And so again, being able to enter these as categories so we can quickly find them in our blog will make that process a lot easier, both for you as students to document and so that we as a school can show the IB that you have in fact completed these outcomes. So I'm going to look at these outcomes and I'm going to make each one of those a category as well. So I have Learning Outcome 1, Identify, Own Strengths, and Develop Areas for Growth. So I'm going to put Learning Outcome 1, make sure I put it right, Identify, Own Strengths, and Develop Areas. And I'm going to add that. Then I'm going to go one by one, all 7 of those learning outcomes. I'm going to add them in just like that until I have all 7 done, which we're going to imagine we have a time machine and we're going to fast forward into the future, right? So now I've got my categories all created, got creativity, activity, service, and the 7 learning outcomes. So now what I want to do is actually link one of the reflections or one of the blog posts I've done with these categories. So I'm going to go out of Manage and I'm going to go to back to my home, so click that. And then I'm going to find, so I recently did a reflection on Math Marathon, which is the only reflection that I have done so far. So I'm going to open that back up, and then I'm going to click Edit. And what I can do is over here now, again, this might be closed, so you want to open it. If you don't see this at all, if you just click this little settings icon, it'll pop up. You want to make sure you're on the side that says document. Going on the categories, so Math Marathon. So in this reflection about Math Marathon, I talked about how I worked in a group. I talked about how we had some disagreements about what to decorate. I talked about how I used my strength of making the math problems. So I think that this first of all fits under creativity as well as service. And the learning outcomes, I think that I identify my own strengths and developed areas for growth. I think that I have shown commitment to and perseverance in CAS experiences because I talked a bit about how school was canceled and that made us have to adapt and change our plans. And finally, I think learning outcome 5, demonstrate the skills and recognize the benefits of working collaboratively. So obviously I'm doing this a bit backwards as if I had already done this, but it's really important that when you sit down to write your reflections, you think about not only is this creativity, activity, and or service, but which outcomes did I meet through this experience? And you need to sort of use that to inform when you write your reflections. So you've got that evidence really clear. So once again, make sure you keep that open in Canvas. I moved it over here. And use that to consult and consider with everything. Which of these things did you achieve in this experience or in this project? All right, so now I've got that. I'm just going to click Update. And now it's updated and it's put into those categories. Now, one last thing we need to do, which is to make it so we can actually see our categories. So I'm going to go back again to my home page. I'm going to go down here to Design, and I'm going to go to Customize. Here, what I want to do is I want to go to Menus. So I'm going to click that. And here I'm going to go to the primary menu. I'm going to add items to it. You see, so far I only have a home and the blog feed. It shows basically my most recent posts. So I'm going to open that up, and for my menu items, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to add the categories. So I'm going to add creativity. I'm going to add them in the order I want them to appear in. Activity and service. So I'm actually going to make 2 menus. I'm going to make one just for this, the 3 main areas. So now I've made that. I'm going to click back over here. And now I need to actually make this show up. So you see where menu locations, I'm going to put it as primary. And you'll see it will update and show me what it will look like. Now I also want the other, the learning outcomes to appear as well. So I'm going to go up here and go to back, and I'm going to actually create a new menu. And I'm going to call it secondary. I'm going to hit next. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to take my categories and I'm going to add the learning outcomes. Again, I'm going to add them in order. I'm not sure why they appear out of order here. 2, 5, 6, and 7. All right, now I'm going to put these, I'm going to make it the footer menu. If you notice, that puts it down at the bottom of my page. It's not the prettiest thing in the world the way it's spaced out, but at least here I can quickly source if my IB coordinator or my CAS coordinator or anyone else asks me, show me some evidence of you accomplishing learning outcome 5. I can click that and it's going to show up, okay, I have this post on Math Marathon here, and any other posts once I've done more posts that are connected in that category. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Obviously, you can play with it. You can, if you'd like, instead of making that at the top, you can put it at the bottom, you can put it at the top. You can put it all into one menu. I think that gets a little clunky, so I think this is a fairly effective way. I'm going to go back in here and reset it so it appears. All right, and that will appear on every page in the website. I'm going to hit publish to save those changes. Okay, this is taking a little while to load. There is one other way that you can put the categories if you'd like them not to appear like this. You can put them actually on the home page. You go into edit your home page, you can add what's called a widget, and you just choose the categories. But I like the menus a bit better, so I'm going to leave it like that. So now I'm going to go back out. Customizing, in fact, I'm going to close out of this altogether. I'm not going to change anything else. So now I've got these here. Now the final question, when I go to write a new reflection, how do I link this? So I'm going to go up here to write. I'm going to put my title, so maybe I decide this time I'm going to write about basketball practice. And I'm going to write, this is my reflection, this is what happened, this is what I learned, yada, yada, yada. So again, I think a good way is even perhaps before you start writing, you go back over here to the document page and you choose your category. So in this case, this is really activity, basketball practice. And thinking about basketball practice this week, I might say that, I don't know, I tried playing small forward for the first time. So I'm going to select that that's learning outcome 2, that I've undertaken a challenge and developed some new skills. And I'm going to make sure that I explicitly show how I've done that in my reflection. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, this shows that I demonstrated that challenges have been undertaken, developing new skills in the process but it should be very clear that you did challenge yourself and you developed a new skill there. All right, so obviously you can select as many of these as you'd like, depending on the experience and your reflection and how much you accomplish. So there you go. That is how you add categories for each of the areas of CAS as well as the 7 learning outcomes. So it'll be very clear how to see evidence of you accomplishing all these things. All right, have a good day.